What? Oh, I don't know. Oh.
It's 1:30 and we have a quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the City of Oklahoma City Board of Adjustments for April 17th, 2025. For anyone wishing to be heard today, besides the applicant, please fill out a white sheet found at the desk outside the door and get it to a member of the staff. Next, item number 2, receive the minutes.
Motion to receive the April 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes. Next, item number 3, continuance requests and withdrawals.
So we have item number 15, case number 15888 is continued until May 1, 2025.
A motion.
Anyone here on?
Oh, is there anyone here to speak on that case? Seeing none?
No.
A motion?
Motion to continue item number 15, case number 15888 to the May 1st, 2025 meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Vote. And that passes. Now, are there any requests, public requests for continuances or withdrawals? There are none. We move to the public hearing, consent docket. Nothing on that. And so we'll move to items requiring a separate vote.
So we have item number 1, case number 15853 is a request of Victor Ortega on behalf of Tammy Blake and Jim Calhoun for a variance to the accessory building regulations, the side yard setback in the RA single-family rural residential district located at 9401 Northeast 141st Street.
Do we have an applicant on that? case. Maybe we'll move it to the back of the agenda.
So we're to item number 2, case number 15889, is a request of Metro Signs on behalf of OKC Adventure District for a variance to the sign size and prohibition of signs in the right-of-way located at 5425 North Martin Luther King Avenue.
Good afternoon. My name is Brittany Hunter, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Adventure District, and I am here to respectfully request the approval of our variance, allowing the new signage within our district. Ultimately, we're trying to get ready for FIFA now and also the LA 28 Olympics, and we just need new signs. Our signs are not pretty. And so I do have Jared here if you have any questions related to the actual sign itself, but do you have anything for me?
Anything from the board? I would like to see what the sign's going to be if you have that.
And this will be the first 2 of many to go up. These were the only ones that will be larger than permitted.
And these are placed in the median of Martin Luther King,
Yes,
where there are currently existing signage.
correct. So we're
And so
gonna
just-
pull those down and put up the
put
new ones.
new
And I will
signs
say,
up.
actually, only one's up. The wind took out one the other day.
And they are right at about twice as big as what is permitted. Anything else?
No,
You want to grill them on the signs? No?
no, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I think with the new sign ordinance, sometimes the unintended circumstances that we get is that they try to reduce the sign clutter, but in certain spots, you have to be bigger than what was allowed, and this is the place to do it. And so, with that, I think a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve case number 15889 on the basis that it meets the statutory requirements for a variance.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. When available. And it passes.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I think you can stay up here for the next one.
Yeah, we have 15890 as a request of Metro Signs on behalf of OKC Adventure District for a variance to the sign size and prohibition of signs in the right-of-way located at 5901 North Martin Luther King Avenue.
Just state your name again and
Oh, sorry. Brittany Hunter, the Executive Director of the Oklahoma City Adventure District. Do you want me to say the whole spiel again, too?
no,
Okay.
I think it's the exact same sign in just a
Uh-huh.
different location.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve case number 15890 on the basis that it meets the statutory requirements for a variance.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes. Thanks.
Thanks again.
Item number 4 is case number 15898 is a request of Stephanie and Patrick Richardson for a variance to the 25-foot rear yard setback in RA located at 8421 Southwest 109th Terrace.
We're just wanting to do the
Start with your name and address.
Patrick Richardson at 8421 Southwest 109th Terrace.
Just a little bit about the case.
Well, we're zoned agriculture, and it's in a HOA private gated community, so the setback is 20 to 25 feet, but the standard setback in Oklahoma City is 10 foot. And I'm just wanting to use the standard setback for 10 foot because I didn't realize going into it that I had to set my house back so further back because it was agriculture. I just went off what I got from the city when I pulled the permit. And then once I decided to do the pool, it's impossible if I don't get the 10-foot standard setback that everyone else gets that's not in agriculture zone in the city of Oklahoma City.
Have you talked to anyone with your HOA, or I don't even know if you have an HOA?
Yes, they've voted, they've approved it. And I had provided that prior to this, but they said I had to do this. Come up here and fill out the fee.
And do you happen to have that documentation from the HOA with you?
She has an email of it, she could send it.
Is there anything from the board? No one had signed up to speak on this. Is there anyone from the floor who would like to speak on this? There's not. You do have a funny shaped lot.
It is, it's challenging to say the least, yeah.
When I look at it, I mean, to go to the west and put the pool in that corner,
I have septic installed over there on the west side of
Right.
the house, and it slopes considerably.
anything else?
I don't have anything.
Good.
I think that, I mean, you don't want to make it contingent on staff seeing that approval from the HOA? Or no? It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
She has it, she can, she could show it to you.
Yeah. Well, and they were all noticed, the neighbors. No written protest and no one showed up.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion.
All right. Motion to approve case number 15898 for the purposes that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested variance.
You have a motion and a second? Please vote. And it passes.
Thanks.
Item number 5, case number 15891 is a request of Urate Construction LLC on behalf of Banging Enterprises for a variance to the front yard setback in the R2 district located at 600 Southwest 27th Street.
¿Habla español?
Good afternoon, how are you?
State your name and address for the record.
Nombre de la compañía y la dirección.
It's Andrew Uriarte Construction, and the address is 600 Southeast 27.
Speak into the microphone so we
Aquí.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. My name, well, the name of the company is Uriarte Construction, and the address is 600 Southeast 27. La casa está over.
He's the builder for Banging Enterprises LLC.
Speak into that so we can-
He's the builder for Banging Enterprises LLC. It was brought to our attention after the property was sold that we built over the building line.
So at closing, you found out,
Yeah,
When
the
they
title
did-
company sent, that's from the title company, so it was sent to us after they sent their own surveyor out.
okay? And I know that Southeast 27th Street has a little bit wider of an easement through there, and so in order to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's probably the reason why that it got put out. It's like 10 feet further.
yeah, it was different.
Nobody had signed up to speak on this case. Anything from the board?
You say you were the builder?
Yeah.
When was the home completed?
When was the home completed? When was construction completed?
When was it completed? ¿Cuándo
Like
se
May.
terminó? En May.
May like you?
And it sold, ¿cuándo se vendió? So it was completed, it was completed in May, but it sold about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pulled 25 feet. It just, because the easement is
Ya lo que
20
tiene
foot
que
wider,
nosotros
10 on each side.
dile que nosotros alineamos con los-
Okay.
And it actually kind of lines up with the other houses.
Yeah, we like now in the other houses. You know. Sorry.
It doesn't look out of place. It's the same thing that we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm
now.
interested in you guys' thoughts, because this is what we've been discussing, so I think there's a reason here. I think it makes sense how this could have been built here. I also know that we want to try to maintain some consistency with how we deal with these moving forward, so I'm kind of all ears for what you guys think.
I think we had discussed sending these to planning review and getting their feedback on it.
So an option is to take it back to planning, and let them look at it and see and give us a recommendation back.
We could continue it till May 1st and then submit it back to plan review and see if they haven't, what comments they have.
Can they review it in the 2 weeks?
We can make them.
I'm going to, either that or May 15th.
So sorry, as Sarah Welch, Planning Department. So we'd become aware recently of potential issues with encroachments into the side yard because of the building code and differences between buildings. So I'm curious on this one, which with the front yard, I don't perceive any issues necessarily with building code, but I mean, we could take it back to them if you think that we should.
I think we should. I
But
think that we've.
Just to get, I know this is like the very first one that we would send back, and so it give us precedence on what their thoughts processes are in a front yard setback.
Quieren que les den de los setbacks de la yarda de enfrente, eso lo van a mandar para atrás a ellos que son de planeo.
And the house is sold, and it's the closing is being held up to clear this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, we've been receiving several of these. In response to that, we're trying to find a consistent way to deal with these where a house is built into the setback. And one of those solutions that we would like to explore is sending this back to plan review, the folks that you all would have originally consulted with whenever you submitted the permit, and having them provide some guidance on basically the impact of having this house be over that setback, and then you all work with them to determine what a possible solution could be, and then bring that back to us, and we can consider a variance given that information. They may say that there's no issue at all and just send you back here and say we don't have any problem with it. But I think that's what we're asking to see, is for you all to go and have that visit with plan review and then come back with any type of recommendation from them on a remedy that they might see as fit for this situation.
Okay, ¿Sí le entendiste lo que quieren que haga aquí? Sí, porque quieren ver cómo le afecta de que estés arriba del building.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I'd really like to just defer this 2 weeks, force the action and not delay the closing of this house any longer than that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
You good with that?
Ya, que te lo dan 2 semanas.
Motion to continue case number 15891 to the May 1st, 2025.
Mayo 21. Thank you.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Please
Mayo
vote.
21.
Okay. So it passed. It will be deferred. You'll hear it in 2 more weeks. In between then, you'll be contacted or you'll have to contact the plan review department and probably have a conversation with them about the situation.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
2 semanas. Thank you.
Item number 6, case number 15884 is an application by Monica Linville on behalf of Checkers Investments to allow home sharing at 4713 Northwest 61st Street.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm just trying to get the...
Could you start with your name and address,
Okay,
please?
my name is Monica Linville, and I'm here for the case 15884, application for a special exception for, on behalf of Checker Investment for home time sharing, Airbnb. In the property located at 4713 Northwest 61st Street.
And no one had signed up to speak on this case. Is there anyone from the floor who'd like to speak on this? No? Anything from the board? There was a protest. There's one written protest, and I don't know if
Yes.
I read that there was also 13 county health violations on the swimming pool.
They are going to redo the whole swimming pool. It's just kind of like in construction now. I prefer to get first the exception accepted and then we redo everything. The house, it has been remodeled, but the swimming pool is still in works.
What was the nature of the issues with the violations with the swimming pool?
It was kind of like abandoned for a while, maybe
Stagnant
a year.
water.
Yeah, it was just, nobody was living in the house was vacant, and it was just, so they are trying to clean it and trying to redo the swimming pool. But I prefer to have the exception first, and then we just finish the work. The main house is completely done, but they are working on the patio and the pool as well.
What's the square footage on the house?
The square feet on the house, let me check. Just give me a second. It doesn't say here, just give me a second because I guess I'm not in, that is not in any of the information I got. Just give me a second. I got the deed here. Let me just get it, give me a minute. Let me get it in the county assessor.
And this stems from, in the application, you're stating that you were wanting 12 guests.
Yes.
And so that's why we were discussed that it's a 4-bedroom home.
It's 3 bedrooms and have 2 living.
Okay.
So one living, they're going to turn it kind of like in another living.
So
Living room area.
3-bedroom, 2.5 bath probably.
3 bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms, and 2 living spaces. 2 living rooms. So they are kind of like updated. It's kind of like a pretty big house. Just give me a second and I can get the total square footage on the house. In the Oklahoma County Assessor.
Well, I have 1661. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yes.
So for me, and this is just for me, but this is
It has 3 full bathrooms.
3 full?
Yes, 3 full
Okay.
bathrooms.
And it's a new application, and with a protest, I would like to see the maximum number of guests to be 7.
Okay.
That would be 2 per bedroom plus 1. One of the requests on the protest was about noise, and so with that, I'd like to make the quiet hours start at 8 p.m. and go to 8 a.m.
Okay, we can review that. And also, in the rules that we have for the Airbnb, there are no party allowed. There are no parties at all. And they have to respect the quiet times, It has to be until 8,
Yep.
8 at night and 8 in the morning.
You know. And I'd like to make a maximum number of vehicles to be 4.
Yes, we have
a
a,
big drive.
yeah, we have 2-car garage, but also the driveway is quite big. You can
Yep.
maximum get up to 6 vehicles there, so there is no problem with the parking,
Okay.
if there is an issue.
Yep. And then I would like to keep no on-street parking also.
Yeah,
In
and
the
they
house.
have a pretty, a lot of parking space, so they won't park on the street.
So how many cars did you settle on?
4.
4. Okay. Term of 1 year.
Yeah.
We were requesting 12 people in the house because we have an extra room that we are going to do kind of like convert with bunk beds, and they can get more people in the house. So that's what we were trying to get. I don't know if they can. I have to apply again to maybe show you pictures or show you that space so we can revise that.
Well, what I'd like to see is just for the first year, is to limit it
Okay.
to this, see how it goes.
Okay.
And just because you're going to have a 1-year term on this.
Okay.
You'll have to return in a year. If you run a really good operation and a business,
Okay.
there won't be any protests, and we can look at it then.
Okay.
Anything else?
Ready for a motion?
Ready for a motion?
Motion to approve case number 15884 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested special exceptions with the following modifications. Maximum number of guests shall be 7, 4-car maximum for a term of 1 year, quiet hours from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and no on-street parking during quiet hours.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Vote when available. And it passes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item number 7, case number 15886 is an application by Austin Cone of Four Big Home Sales LLC to allow home sharing, 3632 Northwest 65th Street.
Good afternoon. Austin Kane with 3632 Northwest 65th Street, Oklahoma City. I'm here for the request for the special exception for the home. It's currently being remodeled, and so it's going to be a 5-bed, 3-bath home. And so we're requesting for 12 guests. We have 1 king bed and 4 rooms that sleeps 2 each, and then two queen beds in 1 room. We are actually, I don't know if you can show the picture of the front of the house, but we're installing a 35 by 20 foot concrete pad. And so as it sits, that driveway is 61 feet long, plus there's a 2-car garage as well. And so just with what's available, it could probably fit 8 cars, but we're adding an additional pad. Because it's on a corner lot, we just want to ensure that nobody parks on the street because it's so close to that corner right there. And I was able to see some of the written protests that were sent in and the very valid concerns that they have, being that it's on a corner. And so we want to make sure and respect, some of the concerns that are out there. Our intention, as I've been here for other properties that we have, is to be able to service families that are displaced because of insurance claims, or they just moved here and they're looking for a permanent home. And so generally, our homes are helping serve a specific demographic of people that need it for 3 to 6 to 12 months at a time. But even if we rent this house out one night of the year, we still need to get the special exception license. And so we are requesting 12 guests because that would be 2 per bedroom plus 2. My understanding has been from the last several that we've done, it's 1 year for the first year, unless you guys feel so inclined and so kind to me to do 3 the first time. But quiet hours are going to be pretty standard. I think I have 9 p.m., but I'm amicable to the 8 p.m. as we've done for other properties as well. Open up to questions to you guys.
Any questions from the board? There is one person that signed up to speak on this.
Terry Tibbetts, 3629 Northwest 65th Street. While I appreciate what you're trying to do, we already have 1 Airbnb on our street and a rental house. We have 6 to 7 kids constantly playing in the front yard. The house down the street has 12 rooms, 12 people allowed, cars everywhere. We are a close-knit street. I know many of you may not know your neighbors, but we do. There's 2 of us here. We look after each other, we talk to each other, we spend time with each other, we help each other. And when you start putting too many of the short-term rentals on one street, you tend to break up that community and the neighbor part of the neighborhood. And so I respectfully request that you decline this adjustment. I know they say they're going to make more parking, but this street is the first street into our neighborhood. And we get a lot of cars zooming around that corner. We're already fighting how to slow them down so that they're not hitting kids. I just feel this could be one more impediment to the safety of our children, my grandchildren, and my neighbors' children. The problem I mainly see too, in addition to all of this, is I did a Google search on 4 big homes, and they're not to be found on this website. So all I could see is that they've requested like 5 other adjustments in our city, which is fine, but there's no way to contact them. So if there are any issues, there's no way to reach out and to get any resolution on things. And so we're the 3 who were selected to come, and I just hope that you hear our voices. Thank you.
Okay, and before you go,
Yes.
I'll make sure that you get his contact number so that you guys can communicate and share any situations that might come up at the property. And I'm also going to ask the applicant to limit the number of parking on the property, and also ask him to have no on-street parking for the neighborhood.
Well, I can tell you 12 guests in that home is going to be a tin can. When we've walked through it, it's been abandoned for a while. And so, curious neighbors, we look. And there's 3 bedrooms that are in there. It's not a large living area. It does have a 2-car garage. It has a very small backyard. And so if they were going to do anything outside, it would have to be in the front yard because the backyard is limited. It's a very narrow space.
Yep. And we will also discuss with the applicant the number of guests and work towards a number that we can both agree on.
Okay. Honestly, we would just like to not see it, but we will do as.
Yep, and that's understood.
as you request.
Sandra Jones. And can we also limit that to a 1-year term? Was that decided on? So
Um,
come
and-
back
and
and
we'll-
see how this is going to work for us?
Right, and we'll ask that, and usually, as you'll see, us litigate these cases, is that when they're up for the first time, we do ask for a 1 year.
Okay, thank you.
I think it should also be noted that the city ordinance was revised recently to limit the number of Airbnbs on a particular block. So I know that you guys are worried about too many, and that's part of the reason that they changed the city ordinance, but I believe that this additional request falls underneath that limit. Is that correct?
It does, and so on this block, there's 17 homes, and you can't have more than 10%, so there'd be 2 allowable short-term leases.
One.
On 17 homes? Oh, okay, 1 home.
I talked to Mr. Cunningham. I always call Mr. Cunningham before I submit these and ask him how many are on the block, and he said there was none on this block plat when I
Right.
submitted the application.
Yeah, and.
None that are granted and operating legally then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
Yes, as I'm going through the legal process.
yeah.
So it sounds to me like
Well, there could be one on the north side of the street,
Okay.
and that's not in this block, so, and I'm not sure. But, right, and I'm not sure if the other home that's on this block, or the street, is a legal one, because we don't get that information either.
The application states that there's no existing special exception, so they can all have
On the
one,
block. Yeah,
one on this block.
yep.
So the one we're referring to is 3608 Northwest 65th Street, which is like 6 houses down on the south side of the street.
Okay, well, it's not listed.
Well, I don't know. Again, what do you do when these things happen and it's your block?
So,
So, thank you.
yeah.
Would you guys be able to give them, because I know I've been on board before where you guys said, hey, listen, we're asking for residents to self-police, you know, to be able to turn in
Right.
specific people if they're not registered for a special exception license. I don't know if that would be helpful. I was trying to answer, what questions did you have?
So, parking is one of the ones. For me, I'd like to limit it to 4 vehicles. And that, again, if you put 2 in the garage, there's still 4 vehicles to me, because if they're out in the.
I
then you can
would see if you guys would be okay with 6. And the reason I say that is because we're adding an additional pad. So that way there could be 2 on the pad, 2 in the garage, and then 2 on the driveway.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not there yet, the pad, and I don't even know that they would allow you to pour more driveway as far as lot coverage on this.
I've contacted the city, and because we're not doing the actual driveway, because it's actually more than 20 feet past from where the street is, the setback, I don't need to get that licensed or permitted to be able to pour that
So it's an
concrete pad.
impervious material? I mean, it's going to be gravel or something like that?
No, we're going to pour it concrete.
Okay, well, that would go towards your 50% lot coverage. That was the question that I had.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies.
But anyways, again, it's not done. The house is still a 3-bedroom home.
It is not a 3-bedroom home. So there's actually 4 bedrooms in it, and then there was a sunroom that was converted. So we actually have 5 bedrooms in the home. I'm happy to provide documentation if it's dependent on documentation that I provide, but there is 5 bedrooms in the home.
How many bathrooms?
3 full bathrooms.
What's the square footage of the home?
It's over 2,500 square feet. I'm happy to accommodate a 1 year, for this first year. I will definitely give my contact information to the neighbors. I know we've done that before in the past, and we've been able to, win over our neighbors because we want to be a good neighbor, to others, just like they're requesting for us as well.
It's a sunroom that was converted over to a room or a bedroom. Does that have a closet in that?
Yes.
I mean, I can get behind 10 guests, 5 cars.
Was the property remodeled?
It's in the process of being remodeled, just like everyone I've submitted in the past.
So you guys are currently converting the sunroom?
Yes.
Do you have an ETA?
We estimated 8 weeks.
And what is the bedroom configuration? What is the layout? You said it's 4 bedrooms without the sunroom?
Correct. So right next to the garage, so where you see on the left picture where the window is, that's actually the garage. On the other side of the garage is actually an entry bedroom, and so there's a bathroom connected to that. There's 2 living rooms, and so where on the right side, in front of where the driveway is, there's 3 bedrooms right in a row on the east side of the house. And then you have the back, sunroom as well.
So the 3 bedrooms on the east side of the house, where's the 4th bedroom located?
Right on the other side of the garage. So there's a closet, a bedroom, a bathroom, and a living room, all on the left side as you're looking at facing the house on the left side. On the right side, there's 3 bedrooms lined up right next to each other.
State your name again.
Sandra Jones. So how many feet in the backyard? Because the backyard's really small.
Try to
So
direct,
can you possibly provide us-
direct your questions to
I'm
the
sorry.
board.
Sorry about that. Can we possibly see a draft of how the rooms are? Because we've been in the house and we don't see 5 bedrooms. So, and like I said, and then the square footage in the backyard, it's really small. Thank you.
Do you have plans or something that shows a floor plan showing the 4 bedrooms?
Sure. And is there a specific requirement on how big a backyard needs to be? Okay.
I'm fine with increasing the number of guests, but I think we probably need to get some, if we've got protesters stating that the bedroom count is off, and then I can't corroborate the bedroom number or square footage with anything here, I think that would be helpful in us.
I'm happy to provide that if you want it contingent on that.
Terry Tibbetts. If you all choose to do this, could I request that the guest limit be limited to 8 people, 4 to 5 cars, and no parking on the street in the 8 to 8 time, quiet time? That would be the minimum that we would really, or maximum we would like to see. I can tell you all are kind of leaning that way, and I took off work to be here, so a contingent for me would be a little bit harder to come back to, but I could definitely send in a written request if needed. Thank you.
Thanks.
And historically, we've allowed 2 guests per bedroom. So I think that's part of the reason we're trying to figure out how many bedrooms there are. And then as well as 1 car per bedroom. So I think right now it's kind of contingent on verifying the actual number of bedrooms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know
Or
if we
you could take it today and agree to an 8 guest maximum.
So are you asking for a continuation?
Well, I mean, you can take a continuance if you want one, or you can go with a 8-person maximum today.
I would prefer a continuation. I mean, I can verify all the information. I feel like I've met what the requirements, for the new ordinance, asked for. And so I definitely understand their, their concern. I think I'm a good neighbor.
Well, and we can, take a straw poll here, but for me, I need it to be at 8. And so I don't know what the other board members are.
I would support 8. I understand that you're remodeling the property, but we've got 2 people who live in the neighborhood. They've taken time to be here and express their concerns. This is a new application. We want to give you the chance for best success as possible. And I would support 8 in following our pattern. That's what I would support today.
I mean, I can get behind 10 if there's actual 5 bedrooms there.
Right.
And I think we've used that as a barometer in the past. And so if I can get the documentation stating here's our remodeling plan and we're going to have 5 bedrooms, I've got no problem with
Well,
granting
I do want
10.
to point out, it's not, the applicant isn't saying it's 5 bedrooms. He's saying it's 4 bedrooms and then the sunroom. Is that correct? I don't want to speak.
That's correct. It's currently 4 bedrooms already.
Right.
So
The sunroom, you said, is being converted into a bedroom.
that's right.
So it's going to have 5 total.
That's right. So what does the ordinance specify? Is it 2 per bedroom plus 2?
It's a suggestion.
Suggestion? Okay.
With the remodel, I mean, is there going to have to be some sort of approval for the sunroom itself?
Sarah Welch, Planning Department. A couple things. The ordinance that was amended earlier this year changed 2 chapters of the municipal code. One of them is Chapter 59, the zoning code, which is what you are normally seeing in your staff report. The 2+2 is actually in Chapter 13, which is about licensing. So this board, through the special exception process, has the authority to set the conditions that would be the number of people, the number of cars. The new ordinance also says that for every 4 guests, a property has to provide at least 1 parking space. So there's some guidance there. You normally do it the other way. You usually will set a maximum number of cars, but as we move through this new ordinance, we have to make sure that we're at least providing 1 parking space for every 4 guests. And then I'm so sorry, tell me the other question was the remodel?
Yes.
I don't know how to answer that because if it is, in order to be considered a bedroom, there's very specific rules that you must meet. But for home sharing, I'm not sure that actually has to be an actual bedroom for you to be able to consider that as a sleeping area. Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, I'd like to see an actual sketch of the home and how everything's configured.
Do you have a permit currently with the city of Oklahoma City for the remodel?
Yes. Well, for specific parts of it.
The other consideration, which I don't want to get, this is not typically in here, however, all of the home sharing hosts agree to meet building code. And I believe once you are renting more than 4 bedrooms, there's a change of use that really should be happening so that it can be reviewed differently than a residential building permit would be.
And that threshold is 4 bedrooms?
I believe it's 4 bedrooms, and I'm taking that from the Development Services website.
So you're leaning towards 8. Ms. Mitchelson's leaning towards 8. I would prefer, I'm happy to provide the sketch and the information you guys need. I believe that it would fit 10 very comfortably. I mean, I'm requesting 12, and I'm happy to do 5, as was suggested for cars, and that would meet your guys' suggestion on that as well. The only thing I can do is just over-deliver on being a good neighbor. I mean, that's really what it's up to, because at the end of the day, I come back here in a year, and we're up for renewal, and we'll just have to see what they have to say on how we perform. I feel like we've done a really good job on people that have protested previous homes, and I've gone above and beyond to try to make connections and friendships and make sure that all of our guests know that there are rules that everybody has to abide by, and if somebody doesn't meet those expectations, then they're not allowed to stay at our properties. And so I really appreciate the consideration.
Yeah. And, you are familiar. This isn't your very first one. I remember you from past cases also. I just, you you brought up in the beginning that some of your clientele was, people who are displaced from their houses, fires, floods, whatever. I don't know how many 10-person families there are in the city of Oklahoma City, but probably not that many, and definitely not that many 12. So
Well, I think even more of a reason to be able to serve those people that do have those specific needs. And I understand what you're saying, is you're saying, hey, there's such a limited supply, of those people. But I get really odd requests, regularly.
Yep, and the neighbors, and that's one of my main concerns, is and how they feel, and you do operate a good business, and so I think that they will find in the future that it's done well. I just want them to feel like safer with the idea of where it is, and 8 people in a single family home is still quite a few.
It is smaller than, it's a bigger house than other homes that have been approved for 10 already, that I have.
So up to you guys.
It's up to you. If he provides
a deferral for 2 weeks.
Right, but if he provides that, at that point, would you guys reconsider the number? If not, then I think that you would need to take a vote at this point. I don't want to waste the gentleman's time. If you've got if I can see a sketch that shows 5 actual bedrooms, that sunroom has actually been converted into a bedroom itself, then I would consider 10. That's kind of where I'm at.
What did Ms. Welch say about the number of bedrooms and the change in ordinance? Could you provide a little more?
Sure, it's not part of the ordinance, however, it is part of the ordinance, it's not part of the changes, but home sharing hosts have to comply with, also with building code. And so directly from our Development Services website, it says that home shares are required to comply with the International Residential Code as adopted by the city, as adopted by Oklahoma City. If you rent more than 4 bedrooms, your structure will be classified as a commercial property, requiring a commercial change of use building permit reviewed under the International Building Code instead. And then the phone number for our Development Services Department.
But that would be outside of this body. That would be plan review.
That is outside of this body. That's just an FYI to our hosts and actually you, once you cross over that 4 kind of bedroom limit.
So that's for all of them then?
That's that.
All of them over 4.
All home sharing if you're renting more than 4 rooms.
So even if we consider 10, we should really say we're going to authorize you for 8 subject, but if you meet those requirements, then you can get that 5th bedroom.
I cannot confirm if there's a person number. I thought there was, but that's not. I'm only reading what's available to me right now in front of us from
Which is
OKC.gov.
just bedrooms.
Just the number of bedrooms, yes.
And they have to meet the International Building Code to be bedroom, not just a sleeping area.
Well, it seems to me that, in all fairness, and we've, again, thank the people who've taken time to come here. I think in fairness to you, it's probably best for us to defer this and give you an opportunity to provide plans and take all of this into consideration and come back before the board. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, but we also might be increasing what he's going to have to permit, and so I can go 8 plus 1 today.
And so then the next step would be in 1 year, request an additional and show the documentation that it's, 10. If it is, let's say we do 1 year for 9, in a year, if we have 5 bedrooms, it's 5, 2 per bedroom plus 2. So I could potentially apply for 12 at that point in time.
And you could, and if you ran a great business and you had no complaints, we'd probably say okay. But it's a year from now.
Yeah, depends on how we do.
Right.
I'm happy to perform that way.
He's a great bidder. Terry Tibbetts, sorry. I would respectfully request it's kept to 8 for this first year. We do know, I've seen that back porch, and it's going to take a lot of renovation to make it a bedroom. But I'm willing to come back next year if things are not good, and if they are, then I still would not go for 12, but I would be amenable to maybe increasing it for your guests if they're good. In my church, I only have one family of 12. There are many families of 8. There are no families of 9. So to say 8 people in this home would accommodate one family. So if you're going over that, you're making it a 2-family residence. And so we need to consider that as well.
I'm at the point where I'm willing to split the baby on it. I am, if it's 4 bedrooms, I'm okay with 8, just sticking to 8. But if the applicant can provide documentation showing that it truly is 5 bedrooms, that's gone through all the proper channels with plan review, he meets IRC. I think I heard Sarah read that it's subject to IRC instead of IBC. If he does all of that, then I'm okay with doing the 10. So, but my decision is going to be based off of what we have. Nobody's contesting that it's 4 bedrooms. I think everybody here agrees that it's 4 bedrooms. So because of that, I'll agree to 8. The applicant is saying that he's got 10 after this remodel. 5 after this remodel, so I'll agree to 10. So rather than...
Right, but I think today, he's applicable to 9, which would be the 4 plus 1. I'm sure there's a living room with a couch or and a sleeping space.
So the ball's in my court is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, for me, I'm trying to take into consideration everything that the protesters saying, everything that you're saying, and I don't want to penalize you. If you've got the capacity and you meet all of the requirements to host 10, then I want to give you 10. I also don't want to not be respectful of their concerns, taking off the time to come here.
Yeah.
And so if they feel like it's 4 bedroom, and typically I would be 8 plus 1, but given the circumstances of this, I'm saying it's either 4 bedrooms or it's not. If it's 4 bedrooms, I'm going to go 8.
Yeah.
If it's not, then I'll go 10.
I will agree with her. There are very few families that have 10 or 12. I have 7, and so I know that's very few. And most of our guests that come and stay with us, they just want enough space, to be honest with you. And so rarely do we ever meet the maximum, that it ever happens. And so we try to keep an eye on that, especially when it's right at the maximum amount. I would be okay with 9 today, and if it's 10 in consideration, I would ask for a continuance if we're wanting to go that route as well, because I'm happy to provide the documentation, and I know what we have planned.
I'm good with 10 with the right documentation. I'm with you, Marcus.
Yeah, I'm either 8 or 10, based on. I'm willing to go if you guys want to. If you guys want to defer and continue it to see the documentation, I'm fine with that. If you want to vote for me today, it's 8 today.
You want a deferral?
Well, if you guys want the documentation, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah,
And
I don't think we can get.
it doesn't sound like we
for
can do
9.
a contingency today, unless you guys feel like we could, and I can provide the documentation. Otherwise, I'm happy to continue, and that would be okay with me.
Continue.
I'm fine either way.
Okay.
I'm fine either way.
Is it, anyone else from the floor want to speak on this? No? Yes? One more.
Chris McMillan. I've never done this before, so I hope you'll
Neither have we.
with me. I live at 3621 Northwest 65th Street, about 4 houses to the east and across the street from this house. And first thing I noticed when I found out that house was going to be a Airbnb, is that correct? Okay. So it's right on the corner. And I took some pictures of that corner, and that car there is mine. I parked it there as an example. But anybody turning in off of Portland on 265th Street, they're going to have to swing out to the left to get around the car. Can you put up the next photo? And when they swing out to the left to get around that car, they're going to have to go into the left lane to go around the car. And to do that, they're going to have to cross the 2 yellow lines. And that's, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's illegal.
And it would be, we would limit them to be no on-street parking. So we wouldn't allow a car to be parked on the street.
There's a, as it's been mentioned before, there's another Airbnb further down this 65th Street. And I've personally seen anywhere from 1 or 2 up to about 5 cars parked in the street when they had a lot of people over there.
And I would say this to you, when that occurs, you call the city action line and report that.
Okay, just one other thing. The more commercial properties that are on a residential street, it's going to devalue the residential houses on that street. It's going to bring the value of our houses down. So, I mean, you've been talking about a lot of bedrooms in this house. Regardless of the bedrooms, it's still going to be a piece of commercial property, and that's going to devalue the residential value of our houses. Thank you.
Okay, board.
How long do you need?
I mean, I could come back tomorrow, but
2 weeks,
2 weeks is fine.
first meeting available.
All right, motion to continue case number 15886 to the May 1st, 2025 meeting.
I'll second.
It's not refreshing.
And before we vote, just to making sure we're all on the same page, so what we're asking for is proof that it's 4 bedrooms and that the sunroom has been converted to a 5th bedroom, and that it's going through IRC for the,
Correct.
to make sure it has been assigned the proper use?
Right. Permitted and meets the IRC code.
ERC?
IRC.
Aye. Is
IBC?
it- So it's IBC.
I feel like I was just throwing out letters out there at this
ABC.
Yeah. Is your technology up yet?
Yeah, I did. Let's try again.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Thank you for your
It
time.
passes.
Appreciate it.
See you in 2 weeks.
Item number 8, case number 15893 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of Sophie Min to allow home sharing located at 3120 West Park Place.
Hi there, Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs. I've got the next couple.
Yep, so this first one is a renewal, and it's timely. No protests and no complaints. No one has signed up to speak on this case either. Is there anybody from the floor who wants to speak on this case? Nope. Anything from the board?
Three-year renewal.
Oh,
I think
a
5
three-
is being asked.
3 year?
Yeah.
So they made some adjustments in the new ordinance, and so the 3-year renewal.
Okay.
I don't know if we limited the cars. on the first time this came through or not?
I think so. I think it's limited to 3 and no street parking.
Okay, perfect. 6 guests. Quiet hours from 9 PM to 8 AM.
Yes.
You said 9?
Yeah,
Okay.
and a 3-year term. Anything else from the board?
Let's see if I can get this. Motion to approve case number 15893 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements of the requested special exceptions with the modifications that the term shall be for 3 years, quiet hours from 9 PM to 8 AM, no on-street parking during quiet hours, 3-car maximum.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Vote when available. Passes.
Item number 9, case number 15894 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of Mark Cody Clinton to allow home sharing at 3813 Northwest 50th Street.
Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs. This one's limited to 2 cars, I believe. Yeah, the driveway is pretty narrow. Same quiet hours, and then I think I think we asked for a 5-year, so it'll need to be dropped to 3.
No one had signed up to speak. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this case? There's not. Anything from the board? It's a maximum of 4 guests. Quiet hours 9 PM to 8 AM, maximum of 2 vehicles, and for a term of 3 years.
All right. Motion to approve case number 15894 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested special exceptions with the following modifications. This shall be for a term of 3 years, 2-car maximum, quiet hours between 9 PM and 8 AM, no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes.
Sorry, item number 10, case number 15910 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of William S. Rhodes to allow home sharing at 2813 Northwest 16th Street.
Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs. Just let me know if you have questions.
No one had signed up to speak. Is there anyone who'd like to speak on this case? None. Anything from the board? It's 6 guests with quiet hours from 9 PM to 8 AM.
Was this a renewal, but
Yes, is this the untimely renewal?
That's correct. It expired in 2023.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one.
so it becomes a new application again.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's fine, it just becomes a new application. The number of cars, it's a long driveway.
I mean, 4
Just
will
6 guests, so
fit,
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's usually 2 or 3.
1-year term.
I mean, if you're willing to do more, that would be cool. I totally get it if 1 is where you're at. This one, the owners live in Texas and travel between Oklahoma City. So it was their second home, and we had a mix-up on if we needed this or not.
Did you take this over as property manager, or did you have it before?
I've had this one, I think, for like 4 years. We
Okay.
just did the original licensures under owner, and then with this with all the changes, swapped over to this process.
Ready for a motion?
Yep. All right, so I'm going to do a 1 year. Stick like
I'll take what
we've
I
been
can
doing.
get.
Motion to approve case number 15910 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested special exceptions with the following modifications. This shall be for a term of 1 year, quiet hours from 9 PM to 8 AM, 4-car maximum, and no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. It passes.
Item number 11, case number 15895 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of Brian J. Hayes and Yasmin Hayes to allow home sharing at 1609 Northwest 15th Street.
Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs.
No one has signed up to speak. Did anyone want to speak on this case? Nope. Anything from the board? It's a renewal, no complaints and no protests.
Let's see. 3 cars.
Yeah, and it might be worth noting on this one, there's not a
There's
proper
there's no driveway.
Yeah,
So this
it is
one,
street.
we allow on-street parking. I remember that from the last
Okay.
time.
So I will mark that out.
So, and it's 6 guests maximum. There is that little paved driveway into the backyard, so I could get it with 3 vehicles.
3 car max.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, motion to approve case number 15895 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements. For the requested special exceptions with the following modifications, this shall be for a term of 3 years, quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., and a 3-car maximum.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Did you say 3-car maximum on the street?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Please vote. It passes.
Item number 12, case number 15896 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of Mr. Champati to allow home sharing at 3716 Northwest 29th Street.
Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs.
No one had signed up to speak. Does anyone want to speak on this case? Nope. Anything from the board?
2-car max.
Yeah, it's a 4 guest, so.
No on-street parking.
Yep. It's a timely renewal and no complaints and no protests.
All right, motion to approve case number 15896 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements or the requested special exceptions with the following modifications. This shall be for a term of 3 years, 2-car maximum, no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes.
Item number 13, case number 15892 is an application by Alyssa Dyer on behalf of Anna Lee to allow home sharing at 2536 Northwest 16th Street.
Alyssa Dyer, 1316 South Youngs.
No one had signed up to speak on this case. Anyone from the floor? No? Anything from the board? It's a timely renewal, no complaints, no protests.
2-car max.
Yeah, 4 guests, 2 cars.
All right. Motion to approve case number 15892 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested special exceptions with the following modifications. This shall be for a term of 3 year, 2-car maximum, quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., and no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. It passes. Thanks.
Is that the last one?
That's the last one, yep.
Okay, thanks, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 14, case number 15897 is an application by Keith Ryden on behalf of Okie Homegirls LLC and Scoutcations LLC to allow home sharing at 10005 Rattlesnake Lane.
Hi, good afternoon. Keith Ryden, 11305 Northwest 101st Street, here for a renewal.
Nobody has signed up to speak on this. Is there anyone from the floor? No? Anything from the board?
I will just note that his application was filed timely on this, and so we can consider it timely filed according to our ordinance.
Yep.
Okay?
No complaints and no protests either.
Okay.
What is the expiration date on the initial?
that expired, but I read, if we read through the
I
ordinance,
s- I see.
yeah, it has a provision in there for this type of situation. That's why I made that comment.
Okay.
I think that you will probably receive notification that the term will be expiring, and so it'll be probably a couple months, probably to it expiring, to get the process started. so
Okay.
that You're here within, if we give a 3-year, 3 years from now.
Okay, good.
And this is the first renewal, right, on this property?
Yeah, first one.
Remember it. It's a new home, relatively new home.
Yeah, it's a 2022 build, I believe.
How many cars?
4. Can they use the garage?
It hasn't been requested, but we will allow it. We've got remotes that we can lend out to the people.
Yeah, so, but you get 4.
Motion to approve case number 15897 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested special exception with the following modification. This shall be for a term of 3 years, 4-car maximum, quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., and no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 15 was continued till May 1st. We'll go back to our item number 1. Case number 15853, Victor Ortega on behalf of the Calhoun family on a variance located at 9401 Northeast 141st Street.
So no applicant here. I would request that we continue this item.
All right, motion to continue case number 15853 to the May 1st, 2025 meeting.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. And it passes. Any additional items? Communications from board? Is there a case that we deferred?
So you know how we send them across the street to, we're going to review their application through plan review. So that they're just they're not sure who they spoke with over there, that we need to get them to the right people. So as our conversation that we had today with Development Services.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For anyone watching, this is regarding an application previously on the agenda. You went across the street because of what the discussion was here today. and they sent them back over here, so we're just trying to get through, we're just trying to understand. So is the motion from the board on this variance on a setback was to continue the item and come back in 2 weeks, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yep, and we do want them to see plan review and have some kind of determination on what plan reviews requests for, or a direction to the board.
I'm very sorry for the confusion. We, staff, Cindy and I, will help you through that.
Okay.
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 But then you'll have to come back here to the meeting on May 1st, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
just wanted to get clarity because we went over there, I was like, what?
Yeah, it might have been a little bit quick for them because it hadn't gone through the processes.
Yeah, we figured. So I was like, but we just want to make sure, because we don't want to let time pass too much either.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Anything from the municipal counselor? No. Anything from board members? No. That, we're adjourned.